Welcome to the Morning Report, a production of FightBackMedia.com, the #1 source of urban conservative information in America.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of FightBackMedia.com, FightBackMedia.com, and FightBackMediaTV.com. We are thrilled that you are here. We are back from Milton. You've probably seen some other videos we've done. One that I just put up on my drive home. We are fine here at my house. You know, we are blessed. No damage at all. Lots of tree debris. One branch fell, and I think it got twisted and ended up being like two branches. But I looked up, we're only able to find one. I think it just got twisted in the wind. One part fell near the neighbor's house, and the other part fell near the neighbor's fence. Notice I didn't say on or on. And they were chopped up a couple days ago, and they are sitting out in the front yard waiting for the city of Tampa to come and snatch them up and take them away. So I have given up ownership of all that stuff. As far as I'm concerned, my yard is clean. We are good. We are safe, and we are back. So again, and now I'm still praying for people who have not gotten their power back yet. People whose homes flooded, that never flooded before, in this area, and that they can be restored. That they can be restored quickly. All right, our prayers will go out to them. The national election is days away. It's on November 5th. Now, we're going to look for and put up as much as we can. We're going to find early voting days throughout the country and have them on the website, on the FightBackMedia.com website. So you can go there as a resource, or just a link there for a resource to find out when voting is for your area, because that is super important, that we get that done, so that we don't have any misinformation or false information or lies being told. You feel me? All right. I told you guys before that I have personally, in my heart and my spirit, called the question about who I'm supporting for president of the United States, and the reasons I am. I'm on the side of energy independence and security. I'm on the side of life when we're talking about making sure that we don't live in a country that supports the murder of children in utero. That kind of thing. I want an economy that is going to help me keep prices down, so we can afford groceries and our electric bill, and gasoline and those kind of things. And frankly, 2016, 17, and 18 were better. They just were. Now, yes, near the end of that, in 2020, things went to crap because of COVID. And yes, I think that Donald Trump could have handled COVID a lot differently and a lot better. But that withstanding, the body of work in the 3.5 years or 4 years of Trump far supersedes the work of this particular organization with Biden and Harris. This just no comparison. There's absolutely no comparison. So for me, I've called the question. There's a lot going on, but I've called the question. And speaking of a lot going on, let's get to the first article. Let me slide that over here. And you guys probably remember Fani Willis. Any of y'all remember Fani Willis? No? Come on now. Anyway, Fani Willis was a Fulton County, Georgia DA. She is reportedly requesting that the Georgia Court of Appeals reinstate 6 criminal charges against former President Trump and his allies in the sprawling 2020 election interference case, after a judge had dismissed the slew of felony counts. Now, they were trying to get Trump because he basically asked the head of elections in Georgia to do their job. That's all he asked. But so that was supposed to be election interference, whatever. But anyway, in a brief file on Tuesday, the Democrat district attorney's office asked the appellate court to overturn the Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee's dismissal decision. He issued that in March. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, McAfee, who's presiding over the criminal proceedings, previously ruled that the state was not specific enough in charging documents for Trump co-defendants to be able to adequately defend themselves. Because when you're trumping crap up, when you're making it up, you want to make it as broad as possible. You want to throw out the largest net possible. And this Judge McAfee said, no, you got to be more specific. Now, Fani, I think her name was Fani, or Fanny, whatever, Willis is arguing that the indictment is more than sufficient. The indictment more than sufficiently placed Trump and his co-defendants on notice of the conduct at issue and allowed them to prepare an intelligent defense to the charges. Why is she doing this? Why is she doing this? She's doing this to protect herself politically forever. And Trump's not president again yet. So whatever they can do to try to prevent this from happening, they're going to do. They're going to be they're in complete freak out mode right now because, first of all, Trump's not dead and he is still making gains. Let's see. The 6 charges dismissed in the Fulton County election interference case are count 2 with Giuliani, Eastman, and Smith. Count 5, Trump. It charges Trump with soliciting public offer to violate their oath when all he was doing was asking to do his job. Count 6, Giuliani and Smith charges both of them with soliciting public offer to public officer to violate their oath, asking this dude to do their job. The same thing with count 23 with Giuliani, Smith, and Chile. Count 28. These are all the same charges with Trump and Meadows, and count 38 with Trump. So 6 of these charges related to soliciting violation of oath of offices were dismissed. So if I ask you to do your job in Fulton County, it can be construed as election interference. Yeah, we got to go ahead and take a close look at all this. They are trying to pull out all the freaking stops. Why? Because that's what they do. We know that Michelle Obama is now on the trail here in the last couple of weeks. I think it's like 15 days or whatever. Michelle Obama is now, on the case because Barack Obama came out and basically wagged his finger at black men for not supporting, especially in the polls, supporting Kamala Harris because he wanted to talk to the brothers. Because Barack Obama, with his half-white ass, is down with the struggle. Really? Barack Obama is down with the struggle. Let me show you something. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I have had this for years. And we got it at one of those white elephant white elephant, you have a Christmas party and you do the white elephant gifts. Remember that? And I got this. This is one of my prized possessions. This is a Barack Obama chia pet. Look at this. Look at this. Get the glare off of it. It's a Barack Obama. Look at there. Barack Obama chia pet. This is a classic. It is unopened. It still has the cellophane around it, completely unopened. And so we could, and it contains 2 of them, actually. 2 of them. We have the happy Barack Obama and the determined Barack Obama. There's 2 of them in here. This is the Chia Obama Special Edition. Now, for a $200 donation to Fight Back Media, this You could have this. This will be on the way to you. This is the food. This is food. I'll put it over there. Anyway, again, never opened. So it has a cellophane around it. Never opened. I've had it since Barack Obama became president. But Barack Obama says brothers need to support that sister. Like somehow Kamala Harris became a sister. Sister SISTA. That somehow, and I don't know when she became a sister, but she's not. But she's not. And it was the exact wrong thing because the reality was that yes, a lot of black women were supporting Barack Obama and Michelle. A lot of black men were skeptical, and then as the administration played out, became more and more skeptical. And even at the end of it, if there were people like Cornel West, questioning what the benefit was of having Barack Obama be president to the black community. And his analysis, which I think is correct, was there wasn't any benefit. Gays, yes. Transgender, yes. Black people, not at all. Nothing to speak about. And it's funny because it's one of the things I do around here locally. I always ask, when some of these local politicians are being lionized, I always go, wait a minute, let's look back. What and the test is, what would we not have if it had not been for this person doing their job, fighting for the community, fighting for the brothers? What can we look back and go, I'm certainly glad, this person was in office at the time, or we wouldn't have that. It wouldn't be this way. All I can think about is our former county commissioner, Les Miller. If it had not been for Les Miller, the Confederate flag would still be flying along with the other flags that flew over Hillsborough County in the down at County Center. All the flags that flew over, that historically have flown over Hillsborough County, were on display there. And if it had not been for Les Miller, boohoo crying. I'm not, I wish I was exaggerating, actually falling to tears about this, that Confederate flag, that piece of cloth would still be hanging there, not bothering a damn person in County Center. That's about it. I can't look at anything else and go, thank God Les was on the commission at the time. So I think it's the same at every level. We're so Barack Obama was out there wagging his finger at black men, and black men are like, who are you talking to? Who do you think you're talking to like that? I mean, I know Chris Rock is all up your butt, but the rest of us, not so much. Not so much. But so who are you talking to like that? It's this continuous left way of dealing with folks. They figure that if they call you enough names, if they call you a misogynist, if they call you a racist, if they call you all these names, that somehow they will win you over. Because you don't want to be called a misogynist. You don't want to be called a racist. You don't want to be called a xenophobe. You don't want to be called an Islamophobe. You don't want to be called a transphobe. You don't want to be called a homophobe. You don't want to be called all these pejoratives, right? So all you can do is do what? You can say, okay, I agree with you. You're right. Really? Or you can do what they really want you to do. They want you to sit down and be quiet. Unfortunately, black men, since Barack Obama was waving his finger at us, have not done that. Not at all. What they've said is exactly what I've said. Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think? Because frankly, man, we were never, to start with, who do you think you're talking to? And now they rolled out Michelle Obama. Black men do not have an affinity for Michelle Obama. They just don't. Black women do. A lot of black women think that Michelle Obama is special somehow. Sort of that same relationship they have with Beyonce. Does that make more sense to you? What I'm talking about? Sort of that same sort of celebrity relationship they have with Beyonce and Oprah. Same kind of thing. Because you ask, well, so what has Michelle Obama done? Nothing. Nothing but be there. Sort of half, being relatable and all that kind of crap, right? She's got kids and I got kids and she's black and I'm black and she got a black husband and I got a black husband. So we are sisters, sister, right? That's what that's all about. Some people call it relational politics. Some call it pandering. It's a bit of both. All right. Another interesting news piece I want to bring to your attention. So let me slide it over in front of my eyeballs. We were talking about Georgia a minute ago. Georgia judge has ruled that the new election rules are illegal, unconstitutional, and void. Youch. A Georgia judge ruled that the county election board members cannot block the certification of votes based on suspicions of fraud just weeks before the 2024 presidential elections. Back to Fulton County, Superior Court Judge Thomas Cox ruled on Wednesday that 7 new election rules recently passed by the state election board are illegal, unconstitutional, and void. The measures have been a controversial subject between former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris surrogates in the battleground state. The rules, passed last month 3-2 by the Republican majority on the election board, has received much attention. One of them requires that the number of ballots be hand counted after the polls close on election day, after being machine tabulated to ensure that the totals match. The 2 others were stated were about the certification of election results. Cox argued that the rules were unsupported by Georgia election code and are in fact contrary to the election code. The state election board did not have the authority to pass them. He also blocked the requirements for new signatures and photo IDs for people dropping off ballots for others. His ruling came after a lawsuit filed by the Internal Vigilance Action, which argued that the state election board abuses authority to pass the rules. The organization, founded by former Republican state legislator Scott Turner, said it was a complete and total victory for the Constitution and the United States. Now, here it is. I'm going to use a phrase that the left uses all the time. Some of these were just common sense things, because it's happened in Florida. This time around, if you are asking for a mail-in ballot, they need a new request. They're just not going to go on the same old request you had before. You need a new request. Signatures have to match. Now, I know that's hard because my signature, my own personal signature, looks like I drew it with my foot. I'm sorry, with my left foot. And all this done over the years, because in 3rd grade I had a drunk core teacher, and we really didn't learn to write in cursive all that well, or at all. I didn't anyway. So my signature's always been suspect. So I imagine that it'd be tough for it to match. Except you could look at it and go, well, that sucks. Well, that sucks equally bad. That's him. So, but it makes sense that at this point you couldn't just have this request for a mail-in ballot just be indefinite, because what happens, let me tell you what happens. In Florida, what happens is people die. Is that right? People die. And depending on when you die, let's say you died yesterday. You had this yearly thing with your mail-in ballot, with your absentee ballot, and you're about to be the most absent you've ever been. So in a few days, you died yesterday. In a few days, that ballot shows up in your mailbox. So who's ever in charge of that mailbox or who can get to that mailbox has access to that ballot. They fill it in. They forge your name because now you don't need new signatures. They forge your name. They vote for who they want. And that could be done thousands of times and affect the results of local elections that are easily pushed a few thousand votes this way or that way, make the difference. A few thousand votes in this district, a few thousand votes in this district, a few thousand votes in this district, move state elections and could move federal elections. You ain't got to do a lot in the same place. You just got to do something. So absentee ballots or mail-in ballots are the easiest to manipulate, which is why we have to be the most careful with them. That makes sense? That's why we have to be the most careful with them. Excuse my nose. Not so much with people who walk in. Either they walk in on election day and press the button, or they walk in during early voting. Where the fraud is easiest to be administered to are mail-in ballots. So when Fulton County again is saying there can't be changes to the mail-in ballots, keep a sharp eye out for Fulton County. Keep a sharp eye out for them. All right, last thing. I didn't see this, and I'll tell you why. I don't want to subject myself unnecessarily to torture. I figure somebody else will watch it. Somebody else will tell me about it. But Fox News, Bret Baier interviewed Kamala Harris on what's the night? Wednesday night. The reports are it was a complete dumpster fire. Did you see it? With the vice president once again showing her awful elegance in evading answering the questions, spewing non-answers and being incapable of landing punches. She had plenty of time to take swipes at Trump, which she attempted, but they fell flat. Baier pressed Harris on her record, the immigration crisis, and essentially what she did and did not know about Joe Biden's mental decline. She refused to answer the question, and she's pitiful at maneuvering. The reactions to this interview were as expected. Democrats praised this as some kind of ace job by Harris, while everyone else saw the unqualified woman who lacked the intelligence to be president. Liberal media folks also claimed Baier was being rude to Harris, who arrived 15 minutes late to the interview. She came 50 minutes late. Please, is that all you got? She cooked this interview where the questions weren't unfair or harsh. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. But I'll tell you what, like I said at the beginning of the show, of this video, it doesn't matter. What happens doesn't matter. All that matters is that you vote, that you take up other people with you. You take other like-minded people to the polls with you. Don't go by yourself. Encourage other people to do it. Again, we're going to have a link on the website, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, so you can go on and click and see the particulars about where voting starts and where all the voting, all stuff you have to know where you live. That link will be on the Fightback Media site. Today is Wednesday night. On Thursday, by Thursday afternoon, so you'll be able to go check. Okay, cool. Thanks ever so much. We got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye bye now.